Hello and welcome everyone to today's, and I think the first of its kind again in 2024, Code with Us with Ignite CLI. Today we will go through one of our newest tutorials. So on the right-hand side, you can see our Ignite's website, ignite.com. This is where you and how we build modern stack blockchains. And on tutorials.ignite.com, we've provided a list of tutorials for you. And one of the tutorials is called the Decentralized Identity Verification System. And this is a module that we will be developing today with Ignite. So I'm going through all the steps together with you so you can see what's happening on screen, what's happening within my terminal, how you manage the Visual Studio Code. So first of all, welcome. Oh, there's people joining the live stream. Just right a minute after we started. Welcome to the live stream. Feel free to ask any questions if you have some. So first step, if you want to get started on your own, join tutorials.ignite.com and check out the Decentralized Identity Verification module. Prerequisites are basic understanding of blockchain concepts, how they work, what's proof of stake, delegated proof of stake, how validators work, how blockchains work. It's not necessary, but it's very helpful. You should have a little bit of familiarity with the Ignite CLI and the Cosmos SDK. Should understand Go and Ignite CLI. So both should be installed. Let me check. I'm running Go version 1.2024, one of the latest releases with Ignite. I'm running version 28.4.0. This is also the latest release. So let's get started by basically scaffolding the blockchain first. Code with us. So I've just created a channel Code with us, and in there I use the Ignite scaffold chain identity. Let's see if this works. Scaffolding always takes a couple of seconds because a lot of code has to be placed in that directory. But this works. You are greeted with a success message. Successfully created a new blockchain identity. Get started with the following commands. First, we need to change our directory into it. And next, I'll directly boot up our blockchain. So I'll look for Code with us, identity, open that. And I think in order for you to read well, let me see that the font is properly set up. I think this should be fine. If I should increase it more, let me know. If you're aware with Ignite CLI, you are already presented with a working blockchain. In here, you already have a couple of modules that are pre-installed, and this is a fully working blockchain. So if I run, for example, Ignite Chain Serve, this is running a basic blockchain already. So with the first couple of commands, you have a basic blockchain running. But in here, we actually want to create a new module for us. As you're probably aware, with the Cosmos SDK, you're creating a lot of modules that you can add to your chain or remove from your chain in order to fit the use case that you're building. And this comes, you can always check the app.go file within the app directory, and you'll see a lot of different modules. So if we just search for module, a lot of different modules that are installed, Auth0, bank module, consensus module, the crisis module, the distribution, governance module, group module, and whatnot. So please check out the Cosmos SDK for further information about all the modules. And you'll find them in the app.go file, which are actually installed on your blockchain. If you are running the blockchain the first time, you will get all the information on the first two accounts that are on your blockchain together with the passphrase, your address. There is a couple of ports that are open. 26657 is for the node, 1317 for the API, and the faucet is running on port 4500. There's a directory for additional data being stored within .identity in my home folder, and a binary created at my go/bin/identityd. Now, if I shoot up another terminal, oh, this is growing huge. Sorry, 1 second, getting set up. So with identityd, we can already check existing commands that we have on the chain. With the help command, you always find more information. So if I want to iterate further, you would do identity tx, like here, transaction subcommands, and you'd get all different transaction subcommands for your blockchain. So this is basic understanding for the Cosmos SDK blockchain. But right now, I just exit this state with Q, and I'm back into the terminal. The chain is not running anymore. And now we want to create a new the module for identity. Actually, since we scaffolded with a module, the identity module is already present as a skeleton, but we want to add a couple of things here. So first, how should this look like? The idea of the identity verification module is that we have a couple of items for a user to upload on the chain, but they don't really get uploaded. Only a hash of these information will get uploaded. So let's say we create an identity, which is a name, a birth date, a national ID, and if it's been verified or not. Then we can allow the user to add all these information in a transaction. We can hash these information with a SHA-256 hash and only store the hash on the blockchain. So everyone else later on who also gets this information can hash it with SHA-256 and confirm that the user has been verified by some identity. So this could be, we could add verified by bank, verified by nation state, verified by university, or different kind of applications whom we are allowing to actually do the verification transaction later on. So this could be only a couple of verified institutions that can verify your account, and others can then confirm these data have been verified before by various institutions. That's one idea for a use case. If you have further, sure, program them into the blockchain. A couple of people have already pointed out after we've published this tutorial that it's also a great opportunity to use zero knowledge proof on the blockchain with a similar concept like presented here. So let's get started. First, we want a list of users, a list of identity with the different parameters that we just described. We need the creator, a name, a birth date, and a national ID. So let's scaffold this. Okay, you see a success message that the identity list has been added and which files have been modified or created for you for this to work. Next step is implementing the identity registration. So we need a message. In order for this to work, we need a message that would upload this to the blockchain. And we would use Ignite scaffolding a new message, the register identity. This is for the user first registering the identity with name, birthday, and national ID. In the next step, we need to add the verified status to the proto file. You'll find the proto files in the proto directory. In here, we have the identity, and the identity.proto file is the one we need to open. In here, we add a Boolean for the verification of the user. Next, we need to also modify something in the keeper. The keeper is the place where actually data that will be stored on the blockchain are handled. And here we already see a couple of files, and we need to look for the message server register identity file. So this is it. And in here, we've already pre-written everything that you need, so you can actually copy-paste this into it, but let's also have a look. So we've already talked a little bit about the SHA-256, so we need to take it from crypto, from Go, and in here, we want to hash the national ID, and then append the identity to the blockchain. Instead of national ID, you could actually choose various different things from all the information that we are putting into this profile. Next, we want to create a new message to approve identity as well. So this could be coming from certified institutions. Let's also scaffold this message. All right, we agreed it again by success message of approve identity. In order to implement this following the tutorial, we need to modify the keeper message approve identity.co file and implement our logic. It's right next to it. So we look at the code, what's going on here. Let me increase this a bit. In order to approve it, we need to enter the national ID in raw. And again, we are putting it in SHA-256 hash. And then we want to compare it with the already existing identity of the ID of the user that has used it. And then we first look if it exists, if it's already identified, and if the hashes match. If not, then we are throwing an error. These errors should also be defined. We'll do this in a second. And then we can set the identity on-chain to be true. If you wanted this to be certain institutions, certain accounts only to be able to do this, this would be the place to restrict certain accounts to only do this transaction. So let's look at custom errors. So you can create as many errors as you want, and especially at this stage, it makes sense to add to resolve with different errors, so it is clear to the user what is actually going wrong. So you want the error messages to be as clear as possible. So this is not extremely clear, and I would suggest that the clearer those messages are, the better for the user in the end. So this will be happening in the types directory. And here we will find the errors.go file. It has already a sample error, but we want we'll actually keep it, and we are adding 3 errors more. The identity not found, so let's check. Well, we should save false. So this is the place where you would give the error a key, like error identity not found. You need to increment the error ID every time. So for a new error, it will be 1105 then if you're adding a new one. So and then you can also specify the error messages a little further. These are the three errors that we need for here. Identity not found is already verified, or wrong hash. So the hashes are not matching. Therefore, someone has posted a wrong national ID. In order to query identities as well, we want to scaffold a query to search identities on the blockchain given a national ID. And in the response, we want to give them back the hash the blockchain knows about. Okay, cool. Let's proceed and look into what we next need to do. So get national ID is search by national ID is the function that we want to look at next. We find this in our identity module, keeper identity.go file. Let's see if we need to add it entirely, or if something like this exists, we need to add it entirely. Just put it at the end of the file. And in here, we would iterate the whole blockchain for an existing national ID hash that's on the blockchain. And next in our query, we want to be using this function. So we go to query search identity. And in here, we have a skeleton right now for a new query. And we want to fill this with all the logic that's required. So when someone is searching, they are putting the raw national ID that they've been given by some user, and then we hash it again, and then we use this search national ID function from the identity.go file that we just added. If it's not found, we will return a new a not found error with the error message identity not found. Testing and debugging. So these are the steps in order to create the module. Let's try to run it. And fingers crossed, it runs. So this has been restoring a state, which doesn't matter because we haven't had any transaction. But usually when you add a new module, you put on, especially on localhost, you probably want to reset the state of your blockchain. You do this, let's do this. You do this with reset once flag. And we could also clear the cache of the running blockchain. This just helps to prevent any errors with already existing transactions in your local blockchain that you're running, and just to be sure everything will run smoothly. Okay, let's try. Let's first check out identity D tx help, and in here we would now should be able to find the identity module in identity. And let's check out what we have in here. We have two commands, register identity and approve identity. So let's first try to register an identity. I will use the user Alice Wonderland. Born. This is the year of publishment of the book Alice Wonderland. So this is an 8065, very old version. And then we have a random national ID number 123. We'll use one of our regular accounts, Alice, which has been created for us by the Ignite CLI when we run Ignite chain serve. Here's the passphrase in case you need to reuse it or put it into your code or something with the address. And the chain ID, as convention, is identity. We can talk a little bit about configuring these kind of things, but let's first try this out. So we have a message type identity, message register identity. This all looks good. The creator is the same account ending with 4AK65, like we have we can see on the account on our main screen for the blockchain. Name is Alice Wonderland and national ID is nation ID number 123. Let's sign this and it's on the blockchain. And now we want to also use our query. And this should be identity 0, no, identity 1, no. Let's use the command list identity. So we have, wait, what's the ID actually in here? Get identity, isn't, search identity. Wait, which show identity? Let's show identity. I think get identity is not correct here. But yeah, you can always see this in the help section for identity. Does this help? And that should show you which different available commands you have. So this is the source of truth. Next, let's try out to actually approve the identity. We haven't set any limits to that, so anyone can actually approve right now. I probably want to use this from the account Bob. So we just have these two accounts scaffolded by default, and we haven't modified the configuration file. So, but this is enough for our purpose right now. So we want to approve the identity Alice Wonderland with nation ID number 123 and chain ID identity, and this is coming from Bob. This all looks proper. Let's try this out. Okay, after having verified, here's right, show identity 0, and we can now see verified is true, while before it was not. It was probably an empty field. Maybe we should have done this better, but null is probably not being shown here. But right now we have verified true. Now we can also look up the search identity by nation ID. That's the function that we've used before, and then we can find the nation ID if we have access to the nation ID number, and we see the hash which are matching. So we can search the blockchain for this particular nation ID if we get them handed from Alice. Last but not least, let's check out all the identities. We still just have this one, but yeah, it looks all good. This worked out well and very timely, and I hope you have a lot of fun using this tutorial and create your own decentralized identity verification module, but also enhance on top of it. As mentioned in the beginning, ZK proofs would be an ideal candidate to go more into like serious production with such a module. And surely You should look at various different functions for user experience, enhancing search, maybe making sure that more fields are actually put into the registering of the identity. There can be a lot of things done. And before I leave you, I also want to add a few words about the config file. So this is the place where you could define more accounts. This is as easy as just adding them in here. So if you want to add account Carl with the same amount of tokens, but you can go wild. You can add more tokens. Like this is your local running blockchain. You can go wild with this. You can reconfigure the faucet, the ports for it. And if you want to learn more, always check out docs.ignite.com. And on here, in the references section, you would have more on the configuration file, how to use it, what parameters are available, how you can manipulate validators, how you can add more validators. This is something you probably want to do when you're running a testnet. And then Ignite CLI creates a Genesis account for you, Genesis file for you, which you can distribute over several servers and then run synchronously. And it starts to get actually decentralized. Yeah, from here, I think there's a lot to learn about Ignite. You can change denoms. You can start creating client code or front ends, and this is all up to you for the next stage. I will certainly be writing more tutorials about front ends very soon as well. And yeah, I hope to have another Code with Us sessions about all of this. Is there any question about this procedure that I've shown so far?
Yeah, no question on my side. Just wanted to thank you on detailed explanation on the steps.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have actually any experience with Ignite or Cosmos SDK, but so far what I saw on this session is pretty promising, I would say. Like, no, a lot of stuff are actually being automated with gRPC under the hood, so less stuff to craft manually, which is like nice way, I would say.
Yes. That's what we're here for.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you very much.
Out of curiosity, Ruko,
Mhm.
how did you find out about Ignite or Cosmos SDK? Are you
Well,
looking to build blockchain or?
Yeah, I mean, I was exploring the, I would say, kind of opportunities, or better say, like, is there any like Golang written blockchain available? So I ran into the Cosmos SDK, and therefore I then just get to the Ignite, right? So I joined the Discord to keep a track, like what's happening new. But as I said, like I still haven't, I would say, get my hands dirty with it, and which is something on my to-do list, definitely. At least for the local development, of course. So
yeah, always feel free to join our Discord and ask any questions in there. If you
yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, thanks for joining. And it's always cool to have new people from outside that are joining us new to Ignite.
Definitely.
Cool.
This was the length of exactly one coffee. So next session we're gonna be.
I'm gonna start saying code with us how to build a blockchain, and maybe we can get it to 10 minutes.
In the time of a coffee.
Yeah, in the time of a coffee. During your coffee break, you can launch a blockchain.
Yep. Yes.
All right.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Enjoy.